There were times in India almost 10 years ago when electric scooters were boring, not many features, poor plastic quality and not good performance as well. But when Ather came, all that changed because this scooter actually changed the hearts of so many young people out there. And today we're going to talk about the 4 things that sets the Ather class apart to the competitors. For many years, the scooters were actually very boring and very conventional in design. But when Ather came, just the simple look of it changed the whole game. And that brings us to the first point, the entire design and the aesthetics of the motorcycle. Most of us Indians didn't even know what Google Maps was on a car, let alone be it on a scooter. And when Ather came, again, they changed the game by actually giving us Google Maps and making our ride much more convenient. We have such a beautiful TFT screen in front of us where all of our data and information is right there, and it makes your riding experience so much better. And also you always stay connected via Bluetooth to your phone, and you can also see so many connected features. This again is now many scooters have it, but Ather was the first one to actually give it to almost all of us here. Most of us have the range anxiety when we associate electric motorcycles, and that's because there are so many fuel stations across 2-3 kilometers in every metropolitan city, but charging stations are quite a few. And this is what brings us the range anxiety. And to cover that, Ather actually announced that by the end of 2023, they are going to launch 2,500 charging stations across India, which is actually a relief because when you consider the amount of fuel stations across India, there are about 64,800 fuel stations across India and many more coming. And Ather is promising 2,500 by end of this year, which means that it's about 4% of the IC fuel stations which Ather is going to give us. And this is the promising news for us because the EV space is actually growing in India, and we can be confident in actually getting a scooter like this and not worrying about range as much. For city, this is one of the best options out there, and that's why we should not worry about the range, and I think Ather is going to keep us sorted. While on the topic of range and charging stations, the one most important thing is the ownership cost of owning an electric motorcycle. The first thing is we do save a lot of money, but it does not seem to be so in the initial part of the ownership experience because the Ather scooter, the 450X, is actually priced at a premium at about 1,60,000 plus, which means that it puts it on board with almost 150cc motorcycles or scooters. And this is why people think the Ather is actually an expensive purchase. But when you actually take into consideration the ownership, when you take into the account of the charging stations in your home, right, you almost spend 300 to 400 on a monthly basis additional to your regular electricity bill, and that's a huge saving considering the amount of petrol money you can save. With the rise in petrol prices, also this means that in the long term, you'll save a lot of money when you consider buying an electric scooter. While all of the things I said might be heard before, but why we made this video is that there are so many young people and college students who actually love the Ather for its versatility and also the cost of ownership. And that's why we believe that Ather is one of the best scooters out there in the Indian market. Almost it's going to replace the regular conventional boring scooters out there. And if you guys are actually interested in getting an electric scooter, all you need to do is just take a test ride and I'm sure you're going to change your mind. In our own TalkBlocks team, we have 3 different people owning an electric scooter and 2 of which are Ather scooters. So if you guys are interested in getting this, we wish you the best of luck, and I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.